Pedro, it's good to see you.
Good to see you too. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I love your background. We match with
I
our
love
green.
your background too. It's so cool. I'm getting insights into everybody's home. These.
Oh, well, thank you. That is the best part of like doing virtual interviews is like seeing what people's homes look like.
I
Um,
know. I know.
how have you been holding up lately?
Been holding up okay. How have you been holding up?
I've been doing well.
Looking
I
good.
mean, oh well, thank you, thank you so much. I'm here. I'm here in New York. Things they're trying to get back to normal. Where are you staying now?
I'm actually in Switzerland. I finished shooting a movie in Hungary, and I've stopped here to see some family friends.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm glad you can do that. Are you going to be there for the holidays, or are you going to be able to spend time with your family?
I'm still trying to figure that out. I'm trying to get to my sister actually.
Gotcha. Where's she?
She's in Miami.
Okay, gotcha. Well, I hope you can. I mean, do you guys usually have like some holiday traditions that you guys usually do?
We kind of alternate between Miami Crimi, as we like to call it, and going to Chile to see our father and 34 first cousins.
Oh my gosh, yeah, that's a lot of people. So I feel like a lot of people's holiday celebrations are a lot smaller than they usually are this year.
They're going to be much smaller this year, of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this was a great movie. Let's talk about it. I mean, there's a lot of heart in this movie. Tell me about like the emotional, impactful moments and what those were like on set.
You know, I've been a super fan of Patty Jenkins since her first movie. Everything that she's done on the big screen and small screen, and I think that the reason that her work is so impactful is that there's kind of an uncompromising honesty and humanity, no matter what the story is. I think that's why Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, had such a beautiful impact on all of us. I think it's like one of the first movies I can think of where I had an emotional reaction to an action sequence, And so when I started to see Max Lord on the page, I came to it with a preconceived notion. I thought we would be really building it on very specific 80s references of villains from that era.
Mm-hmm.
And instead, while honoring the earlier versions of Max Lord in the DC comics, we kind of had to really flesh out, or the challenge was to flesh out something a little bit more rich and whole to kind of make it more unpredictable, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think what you got was this really multi-dimensional character who was like fun and funny and had these like funny moments. And then you see there's so much depth in him later, and he really has this story behind this facade that he's creating for other people. I mean, how much fun was it to just portray this sort of, multi-dimensional character?
I think that something that one wouldn't expect, I guess, is that you would have such a creative challenge in a large-scale superhero movie. And even though, like I said, in terms of the kind of work that Patty is always putting out there, it comes as no surprise. But I certainly didn't expect to be so. I don't know. It was really intense and scary and exciting and delicious and the women are doing all the action in this one, and I get to sit back and just like ham it up.
You had some action scenes now. There was some where I was like, oh, like holding on to like the armrest of my chair, waiting to see what was happening. And now, I mean, I know that there are a lot of people drawing some or comparing your character to Donald Trump. Do you see some similarities in you guys' personality or the way that you guys present?
I think that there's a real specific aesthetic to the character, and of course to the era that we're in. And Lindy Hemming, the costume designer, is a genius, and Jan Sewell, the hair and makeup, is a genius. And so, it ultimately, in what we've seen in the trailers and some of the character posters, it's such a familiar image, and
Yeah.
that's what I sort of, I kind of thought, all right, we're going to be building this on things that are very, very familiar to us. And then it just turned out to be something totally different and very unique to this particular movie.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Yeah. Well, uh, sort of a roundabout way of saying like kind of, but not exactly.
Well, honestly, look, I'm not going to lie. I totally expected to go into it with really, really specific references. From my point of view, I was bringing up Gordon Gekko from the start, because that's my reference,
Yeah, sure.
the ultimate villain from the 80s. And then what I started to learn ultimately was that I kind of had to let all of that go and discover something completely, organic to this movie. And I think it's evident. I don't think you can really, sure, he looks like people that we've seen. You could go to
Yeah,
American
it's a
Psycho,
combination of a few different. Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, lots of
Yeah,
things
like
though. In my mind, it was always like American Psycho, Gordon Gekko, but then we had to flesh out a fully a human being that's so I feel unique to this movie.
Yes, definitely, definitely. I agree with that for sure. Well, and I like what you said about, being able to work with Patty. It was just announced that Patty's going to be the director for the new Star Wars movie, Rogue Squadron. Are you going to see a surprise drop in by the Mandalorian himself?
I have no idea.
Can
No.
we cross our fingers? Would you be
Well,
down if they asked you?
no, no, no. I just sit and wait.
Kind of like the rest of us, for sure. Now, I know that things are sort of coming down to the wire for the Mandalorian. What can we expect for the finale?
Something real good.
I like to hear that, sir. I do like to hear that. And you've been busy. I mean, you got your new role, We Can Be Heroes, coming out on Christmas Day. There's going to be a lot of Pedro come Christmas opening gifts.
No, maybe a little too much, actually. The amazing about it is really like the work that's getting put out there by the directors. The last episode of season 2 of The Mandalorian is Peyton Reed. Rick Famuyiwa has just put out the current episode. Patty's movie, obviously Wonder Woman, and Robert Rodriguez with We Can Be Heroes. So I got real lucky. I've been around some pretty talented human beings.
Definitely. Well, and how cool is that people can enjoy Wonder Woman 1984 and so many other movies at home, from the comfort and safety of their homes during this pandemic?
Yeah, I think more than anything, to finally be able to share the movie, however we do it, in the safest way possible, is it's emotional. We had an amazing time making this. It's one of the best times I've ever had in my life, and if that translates at all onto the screen, then it's just something that you want to give to people. And for me, alongside all of the hope and humanity that's in the movie, it's also that nostalgic experience of being a kid and seeing a movie and having a great time. You think that it's like that the gimmick is kind of like, oh, we're so charmed by 80s kitsch. And when I saw the movie, I realized, oh, this is what it felt like when I was like 9 and I saw Ghostbusters, and I was transported. Even if I had zero association to this movie, I know that I would really want these couple of hours right now, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's beautiful. I'm glad that people can enjoy it.
Thank you for watching. If you want more extra, hit the subscribe button and the bell so you'll never miss a video.